Hello everyone, this is Toby with Birdsong Studios. How are you doing today? I hope you all are well. Thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. I greatly appreciate your time, your attention, and your openness to these messages. So we are looking at the energies around the winter solstice, which occurs on December 21st. It'll be the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, which is where I live. But if you are in the southern hemisphere, of course, it'll be the summer solstice. This is the sigil that I channeled for these energies, and the message I received was brief, but rather to the point. It was, by diving into the darkness of this time, you will be able to fully see your light. So this feels as we talked about in the Mercury retrograde reading. If you have not had a chance to check that out, please do, because all of these readings are interlinked, and they kind of stair step upon each other, just as the energies are doing with these cosmic events. So we talked about working with the retrograde energies, and what I didn't realize, and well, let me back up a little bit. We talked about working with the retrograde energies, and towards the end of the reading, it really came out how linked this was to Pluto moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, and the changes that are coming alongside that, and the shifts in the energies, and all of that. So what I didn't realize at the time, we talked about, we did talk about when Pluto was moving into Aquarius, but it didn't even occur to me that it actually happens, because I think I got the date wrong. I think I said it was January 23rd. It is not. It's January 20th, which is actually the same day that the sun moves into Aquarius. So we have the sun moving into Aquarius, and I know we're talking about the solstice, right? So where am I going with this? Trust me, this is all connected. So the sun is moving into Aquarius on January 20th, the same day Pluto moves into Aquarius. And as we back up then, in the month of January, we talked about how Mercury is going direct on January 1st, right? With the beginning of the new year. What I didn't realize was that we just had a new moon on 12/12, right? Do you know the next new moon is also on a portal day? It is on 1/11. That really struck me. We have two new moons back to back that are both on portal days. And to make it even better, as we're talking about Capricorn, or talking about the movement of Pluto. And Pluto is the Judgment card, came out at the end of the last reading too, right? And guess what? And I didn't recognize it at the time, but, or forgot to mention it, but Pluto is associated with the Judgment card in the tarot. So on the same day that we have the 1/11 portal, we have a new moon, which is in Capricorn. So guess what? It is conjunct Pluto, which is in Capricorn. So all of these things coming together are really speaking to this massive transformation that is occurring individually and collectively as well. So just the astrology of the next month is kind of boggling my mind right now. It's just so beautifully aligned, and you can just see the purposefulness in it. So going back to the message of by diving into the darkness of this time, of the winter solstice, you will more clearly see your light. And so we talked about with the retrograde and working with those energies to dive into different aspects of the self. So let's start with some oracle cards. And let's look at as we are working with the energies of the winter solstice. And if you are in the southern hemisphere, it's going to be important for you to Let me feel into this a little bit. It's going to be important for you to do the same because we're talking about the greater astrology of it, especially in regards to Pluto. And that is very much, again, that is the planet of death and rebirth. That is the planet of shadow aspects in some way too. So it's going to be important for you to do this dive similarly into the darkness, so to speak. So I mean that symbolically, especially if you're in the southern hemisphere, but having shorter days, being in darkness more of the daytime hours being shorter than the nighttime hours at this time of year. And so allowing oneself to get comfortable in that darkness, in that stillness, in that quietness, and seeing what comes up through that process. There is this push to be very clear about where one is going, where one wants to go. And we talked about that in the last reading too. Okay, so let's get some cards and let's see what we need to know about this time of darkness and this kind of, I'm getting the feeling of the cocooning again. And that sense of slowing down, right? That staying in the pockets of space and time that are created within this retrograde period. That's only amplifying this effect of being still and being under the blankets and taking time to be with oneself. Okay, well, let's see. We're going to start with the alchemy cards. This is very much about alchemizing the darkness and the light within I was going to say within each other. How interesting is that? That's bringing them both together into a state of integration, into a state of balance. Oh, that's interesting too. I'm hearing that is the divine order. Okay, I'm getting the hang of shuffling these cards, guys. It's only taken me a few tries. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay, so what do we need to know about the solstice? Being in the darkness. Oh, and we get darkening. Oh, wow. Card number 12. Well, it is December. Look, 12/21, 12/12. What else do we have? Look at the, and we have the snake here that's almost forming an infinity symbol. And the raven standing above him. There's so much wisdom in that raven. And keen perception. He has his eye on you for sure. Sparks of light. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is like exactly what the message was. Wow. 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 Oh, and I don't think I have. I wanted to use, well, let's see. Give me just a second here. Oh, that's interesting. I'm getting this sensation with the sparks of light. You know, we talked about, okay, first let's look at the numerology. So we have 11 here. Let me show these to you before I get started. And this is the darkening. And this is scintille, sparks of light. What a cool, isn't that a cool word? I love that there's Latin on these cards. Oh, let's see if I can remember. What is L? Is that 50? So 46. I think that's card number 46, which is 10. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so you know how when you take two pieces of metal against each other, you can create sparks, but it's only by a great amount of friction. And it almost is like, I'm actually seeing like a grinder. And when you're grinding metal, you can see sparks flying off, but there are pieces of it being shattered too, or being splintered out. That's what I'm getting from this card. So going into the darkness, and I'm seeing the raven just watching this process. It is like the shedding of the skin of the snake. This is a fine tuning. This is a removal, a brushing off of those things that need to be released as you're moving through this time, but it requires you to go into the darkness to be able to find them. You know why? Because you can't see them. If you're standing out in the bright light and you're, let's say you're grinding something, I know probably not all of us, there are many of us that are actually going to be doing this, but stay with me in this visualization. If you're running a grinder, if you're in the bright light, you're probably not going to see the sparks as readily as if you're in the darkness, right? In the darkness, they're really going to stand out. And it's those, there's something in the removal process where things are revealed that you would not have seen. But if you were standing in the light, you would still not be able to see them. And it's those pieces of, there's a polarity in it. It's the removal of those things, and it's the information that is within them that is revealed through this process. So, but we're talking about a grinding, so it is not a shaving down. It may be uncomfortable. It doesn't feel terribly painful, but it feels rather uncomfortable. But if you're keeping your eye on this process, if you're very perceptive and you're very observant, and it's almost as if you are the snake and you are the raven. So if you're being very observant of self as the witness of what you're going through during this time frame, you're going to be able to catch these sparks. And there's something in them that you can then, again, it's that polarity of the releasing of them and the holding on of the information that's received during that time. And we talked about being educated, right, during the Mercury retrograde in the last reading. How fascinating. And there's something about the shape that is formed out of that. See how this is very distinct, and it's almost, again, we have this polarity of it breaking apart and coming together, breaking apart and coming together. So there's something about the shape that this takes after you move through this process. And this is what is being ignited, I'm hearing, at this winter solstice. Look at how there's almost like this fiery type aspect in the background above the raven's head. You see that? Very interesting. And I'm getting the Ouroboros here. This is the snake consuming its own tail, but it's that reflection or symbolism of the constant death and rebirth process that we go through our lifetimes. Interestingly, though, that in this one, the snake, this feels like a very profound transformation. One that maybe we will not undergo something as profound as this ever in our lifetime. Going for, in the the rest of our lifetime, this will be the most profound transformation, because the snake is not consuming its tail here. So there's the infinity symbol, there's the sign of the rebirth, right? But the process is ending because the tail is not coming back towards the head to begin the process again. Does that make sense? I hope that I described that well. And now I'm drawn to the sigil, and there is, this feels like that cocooning energy, but it feels as if that fire energy is bubbling underneath the surface. So that's why it's important to go down into the darkness to be able to retrieve this. Wow, that's really fascinating. Okay, we're going to stick with these wild unknown cards. They feel very Plutonic to me, so I don't know what that was. Hang on just a second. I felt something. What do we have here? The High Priestess and the Mother of Pentacles. What I'm hearing is this is associated with the rising of the divine feminine as well. In all of us. But we did talk about that, didn't we? We had the divine feminine, divine masculine energy showing up in the Mercury retrograde reading as well. And so it is about this balancing of the masculine and feminine within each of us. And something that we are going to see more of in the collective as well, in the outer world. And that changes, that will alter behavior patterns, that will alter interactions, that will alter relationships. Oh, that was, did you see it spin around like that? I've never seen it do that. You guys, look at that. What were we just talking about? And had it not spun around like that, I've never seen it do that, I would not have picked it up. How cool is that? We have the Mother of Cups and the Father of Cups. It's almost like yin and yang right there. That's the divine masculine, divine feminine we were just talking about. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So that's, as I was saying, that's going to alter behavior patterns in the outer world too. And this is part of New Earth. This is stepping into this integrated, unified space, the space of this energy, this reality of harmony that requires us, in order to be there, it requires us to be in this more balanced state, where we can readily access, utilize, and be in the energy of both the divine masculine and divine feminine when appropriate. Okay. I don't know if I said that correctly. I don't think I said that correctly. What I meant was where both energies, both states of being can be utilized appropriately in healthy ways, so that we recognize when it is appropriate and beneficial and helps to facilitate harmony and peace to be in the divine masculine energy. And then also the same is true for being in the divine feminine energy. So we're not approaching those things from a place of a lack of understanding or even manipulation. Oh my gosh, and the Father of Cups comes back out. Yeah, this is, and we talked about also in Mercury retrograde reading, we talked about the emotions informing us, right? and how those feel in our body. And Father of Cups is the King of Cups. It's associated with our emotions, feeling state, love, compassion, generosity, empathy, I'm hearing. And intuition as well. Yeah, my third eye is like just pulsating now. And we have the Three of Cups. Okay, let's see what else we need to know about this. Yeah, it's because the Three of Cups can be about celebration. It is working together with other people, those who are like your soul tribe, your soul family. And I was also, so as we're moving through this process as individuals, we are going to be drawing in magnetizing. Magnetizing was one of the cards from last reading. If you haven't watched that, please go watch that. These are like part 1 and part 2. This is going to be magnetizing these people, the people in your soul tribe, to you through this process. And we have the Daughter of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles. This is a new offer. It requires these, you know, you're going to see, look at how the colors in these two cards match up. Okay, first, let me show you these. I don't know that I showed you these, so let me do that. There's the Father of Cups. And then we have the Three of Cups. And then we have the Daughter of Pentacles, which would be equivalent to the Page of Pentacles. But look at how the colors in these two cards are very similar. And so there's, in the sparking process, okay? In the sparking process, what you gather up from that, the shape that you create from that. You remember we talked about the breaking apart and the bringing back together, forming this particular shape for yourself, of yourself, I'm hearing. As we move through the energies of these upcoming astrological events. I keep wanting to say cosmic events. It's these sparks that you are actually going to recognize in other people. And that's how you know it's your soul tribe. Those same sparks, because remember we were seeing the polarity in it. We were seeing, and that's what this is all about, is that integration of the dark and the light. So we're seeing the polarity of it. We're seeing like the parts of it that we are rubbing off of ourselves, right? That we're releasing from ourselves, the part that may be dimming the light, so to speak. But within those same things, we're also seeing the spark that's the information that is telling us something about ourselves. It's the healing that's associated with it. It's the understanding of why that roughness was there to begin with, why that dullness or dryness was there to begin with. Because now I'm kind of seeing it like exfoliation. But those sparks, the light aspect of those pieces that are being released, this is what you're forming together, right? In this structure, those same sparks you're going to see and you'll be able to recognize in other people. And that's the key for you to understanding, to seeing and recognizing those people as part of your soul tribe. And this is this new offer that I'm, you know, normally it would be the Ace of Pentacles would be like an offer from the divine, but that's the way I'm feeling this Daughter of Pentacles is. It's almost like the divine has offered you this new beginning with this prior to this process. it may be that these are already people that you know, but maybe you haven't. They've been placed on your path, but you have not become. Maybe you're not very close with them, or you're just starting to get to know them. This is this. It being placed on your path was the offer from the divine that would have been represented by the Ace of Pentacles. So that came along at some point in the past, but now here we're at this stage with the Daughter of Pentacles that it's not brand new, but it's blossoming. We have a fawn here. She's growing up. It's I just keep hearing blossoming into this new beginning of relationship, celebration, collaboration. Not so much collaboration as it's celebration of each other that is blooming through this process that you're going to begin to see grow, change, mature even through the astrological time frames we were talking about. So through towards the beginning of Aquarius season, so January 20th. I'm feeling we're talking about this next month through the energies here. Okay, so that was the sparks of light. Let's see what we have for the darkening. What do we need to know about the darkening, please? Oh, the Emperor. Wow. What else do we need to know about the darkening? Look at how we have the... let me do that again. That one kind of wanted to come out and then it went back in. Look at how with the sun, it almost looks like a moon or an eclipse, but we have that yellow and orange reddish coloration, that theme here. Lots of fire energy, even with the color that I was guided to use. And then we have the Son of Pentacles. And look, we've got, oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, same color scheme. Again, divine feminine, divine masculine energy. Wow. Wow. I've got chills now. Okay, and there's one more, it feels like, for the darkening. It's card number 4 for the Emperor. That's Taurus. No. That's Aries energy. Yeah, Aries energy. I don't know why I had a moment there. Oh, we have the Devil. But that's Capricorn energy. That is Capricorn. That's what we're talking about here with this Pluto and Capricorn. This is the transformation. Look at the fire. Look at the color again. Allowing for this rebirth. Talk about Phoenix energy. I mean, with Pluto. So, we talked about that with Scorpio. I don't remember what reading it was. It was probably the new moon in Scorpio reading. So there are links back to that as well, because I'm feeling that scorpionic energy really strongly. That's the hit I was getting on the Pluto energy when we were starting to shuffle these cards, linking back to Scorpio season. So let me see. Give me just a second here. I'm just kind of blown away by how all the coloring is so similar. Fire. Mars is also moving into Capricorn on January 4th. And Mars is pretty strong in Capricorn, because Capricorn is very much a an energy of drive, persistence, planning. I'm hearing durability, dedication. And so there's a lot of ambitious type drive in even that grounded energy of Capricorn. And so adding the the fiery aspect of Mars along with it, we have that at this time. There's something about allowing yourself to, okay, well, hang on just a second. We talked about things that you needed to let go of. There was a reading where we talked about things that unhealthy behaviors or patterns or addictions, whatever those might be, wherever they lie on that spectrum for you, whether it's something more extreme like drug or alcohol, or if it's something that we're talking about media consumption, or I don't know, I can't think of an example now, but wherever that falls. But there was a reading where we talked about that, and I think it was the new moon in Scorpio. So that's coming back up here with this devil energy, because the devil energy is about unhealthy behaviors. It's about addictions. It can be about obsession even. But it can also be, because it represents the sign of Capricorn, it can also be about that line between dedication, perseverance, ambition, and obsession, addiction, manipulation even. So it's taking this new look from a, I want to say a young perspective, but when I say young, I don't mean age from, in relation to age. I'm speaking in relation to a newness. Because sometimes the Emperor energy can be very stoic. Okay, sorry guys, my memory was full, so I had to fix that. Okay, so anyway, we were talking about the Emperor. We were talking about how the Emperor energy can be rather stoic. He can be, in some ways, rather set in his ways. The Emperor makes a final decision, and that is it. The Emperor is not normally an energy which compromises. He's not, it doesn't really bend. Look at the tree. He's very noble. He's been around a really long time. He knows the direction he's going. He doesn't bend. Not easily. He might sway a little bit in the wind, but he's really not going to bend. And what we need to do here is we need to take a look at where, with young eyes, so I mean eyes that have, let's become the observer, right? We're back to the perception and the being the witness of the raven in this process, stepping outside ourselves and looking at ourselves when we are in this Emperor energy, or the aspects of ourselves that we can tie to that Emperor energy, and looking at them with young eyes, looking at those behaviors from an observer standpoint, from the from someone who has not, doing our best to look at them from the standpoint which is separated from our personal experience. I know that's really, really hard, but that's what we're being invited to do here, because it's by doing that that we are going to be able to see where we're crossing the line between the higher vibrational aspects of this Capricorn energy and the lower vibrational. And this is about being really, really deeply honest with ourselves And I think that came up in the Mercury retrograde reading as well. Being very, very deeply honest with ourselves. There was something about Neptune. Mercury is squaring Neptune on January 8th. Now, this is the third in the set of squares between Mercury and Neptune. And we talked about Neptune before, and about Neptune being very much associated with illusion and fantasy and delusion. And again, it's that line. Where are we crossing over from the higher vibrational aspects of these energies into lower vibrational aspects? And those lower vibrational aspects being the things that then we are sloughing off, we are grinding off, we are exfoliating away. And there is, so you may find, going back to the timing, when we talk about a square, we talk about it's a more harsh aspect. It's an aspect where the two planets, they're not opposing, right? They're coming like this. So they're kind of butting up against each other. So it's an aspect with tension. It's an aspect with a bit of conflict. So tension is the better word. So when we talk about Mercury in square to Neptune, it is that being in the more discerning mental space of recognizing and being honest with oneself and being willing to communicate that, and to communicate it, but to be willing to speak the words to ourselves about where we have created an illusion that allows us to be in these lower vibrational states associated with the Emperor energy that are then tied to the Devil energy, where we're going into, and it can be things like overworking, not taking care of oneself, not being present with friends and family members. I mean, it can be a wide range of things, but it's important for us to take this time in the darkness to be able to recognize this, because again, we have this fire energy here, and when we're in the darkness, that's when we can see the sparks, right? When we dive into the darkness, we will be able to see our light more clearly. So, yes, that's the darkness aspect. Okay, I'm not even sure how long we've been going here, so quite a while. All right, we're going to pull some oracle cards to kind of pull this together. Let's see, what do we want to use? I'm going to do one from the Light Soul Vision Oracle. And then I'm going to use another deck too. So, give me just a second. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Let me do this real quick so you guys can see this. Sorry that I didn't do that earlier. I'm sorry, guys. There's the Devil. Capricorn, that's card 15. Here's the Emperor. Number 4. And the Son of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles. Another thing about the Knight of Pentacles is that he's rather, I don't know why the word fastidious was coming to mind. He's diligent, he's slow moving, he takes his time. So this is not a process to be rushed. This is not a process to be rushed. This is one that is, you know, the snake shedding his skin. Oh, look, we have 22 here. The snake shedding his skin. There's only so quickly that's going to happen, and I can imagine that if you are a snake shedding your skin and you try to rush the process, it's probably going to be rather painful. So remember, we were talking about that exfoliation. And how we said in the beginning that it feels uncomfortable, but it not necessarily painful. This is going to be the key. If you try to push yourself through it, again, we're working in the polarity here. It's something to take our time with and not try to push through it. Because if you try to push through it, you're going to miss something, and then it is going to be more painful because things are going to come up and it's going to be harsher. There will be something more external that I think had you taken your time with it, you would have, not sure how to describe what I'm feeling. It's almost, it gives you a sense of being able to, being in, I don't want to say in control of the process, but you are feeling more at ease with the process if you take it slow, even though there are going to be points where you feel uncomfortable, but overall there's a sense of ease that goes with it. Not as if you're being dragged along by it. If you try to push through it, then I feel like there's something that comes about that has you feeling like you're dragged along by it. So you're going to get to that end point. You're going to get to this point of being able to bring these sparks together. It's just how you get there. Okay, let's see. What do we have? Oh wow, detours from the divine. Okay, we're going to do 2 from here. I don't know that I'll use, I think we're just going to use these guys. Oh, and all of a sudden my nose is itching like crazy. Soul stories. Look at how we have both of these have portals. And this is card 30, which is the 1221, right? We talked about the number 3 with the 1212 portal. So again, like all of these readings, I know that they're all tied together, but that's because we're going through this process. It's not like it is all connected. It is all tied together. This is card number 48. Oh my gosh, which is 12 and 3. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Literally just took the breath out of me. Do you see this sword? If you saw the Mercury retrograde reading, do you remember the Father of Swords sword? That's his sword right there. Look at that. It almost even looks like, okay, I'm going to find it. It almost looks like it's the same angle. Maybe not exactly the same, but it looks very similar. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on, hold on, hold on. That sword you learned how to use. This is part of the process. Oh, interesting. It's not. It's very similar, but it's upside down. Look at that. That's cool. Very interesting. Yeah, well, you can see that because it's far enough away. Well, here's the Father of Swords, but I'll show you. So they're actually opposites. How interesting is that? So let's see. Give me just a second, guys. It's interesting, when I got that message about diving into the darkness, they were showing me like an energy or a being diving in through a portal. And it looked very similar to this. Very similar to this. Sorry about that. So we talked about we talked about soul families. And I'm getting this image of the divine orchestration to get you and your soul family, to get you and your soul tribe to this point together where you're walking side by side on the other side of this portal. And things that have seemed like they have taken you away from different places, different people, are the detours from the divine. I'm actually seeing this as the portal that you're diving through with this solstice. This is where you are no longer going. This is the divine protecting you, like putting up a block almost to say this is not the way to go. That's what this sword is. I was wrong to begin with. This is the divine saying this is not the way to go. And this is part of what you're going to be seeing. Remember how we talked about those sparks and how those will be signifiers for you of the people who are in your soul tribe? It's when you don't see those, this is that detour. You're being given a key here to help recognize who those people are going forward. We are all transforming, and you're going to find so many synchronicities with maybe people that you have met, but again, I mentioned that there are people that you've already met that maybe you haven't gotten to know very well, or you're just in the beginning stages of that. The relationships, whatever type of relationships they are, they have not matured, right? They're in this Page of Pentacles stage. But you're going to find so many synchronicities, so many commonalities in your history, in this lifetime and in past lifetimes. These are these soul stories where the soul stories with your tribe members have been written. I'm seeing them side by side. It's like you've been walking side by side through history, through lifetimes. And you may feel like there are people that you expected to go with you on this leg of the journey, and there will be blockages there, and those are these divine detours that are yes, we can view them as blockages from certain people or from certain experiences or situations or environments, but what they are is actually detouring us to where we are actually going to be able to shine more fully. It does require that we take this dive into the darkness first. So that's this time frame between the solstice and January 20th. And when we hit Aquarius season and Pluto goes into Aquarius, the sun goes into Aquarius, we are well out of Mercury retrograde. Things are really going to start taking off. They're really going to start taking off. And I have major chills with that. And it's Aquarius season, which is all about the collective, about humanity, about community, about like working together in future-oriented, forward-thinking ways, being innovative. And that's also why these groups of people are coming together, why you're coming together with these people, because it's working in these collaborations, in these communities, that's going to allow us to move into and really bring down into our reality new earth. I shouldn't say bring down. We're moving up into it, moving up into new earth. But there's a feeling of grounding in that as well. from a higher dimensional aspect, but it is a grounding aspect. Wow, that feels really, really profound. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful. I thank you so much for being here with me. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate your attention and your support more than you can know. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it if it resonates for you. And I will be back soon. We've got a full moon in Cancer coming up on the 26th or 27th. I will be back then, if not before. And thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you greatly. Sending you big love, and I will be back soon.